Okay, Steeler Nation. So we got another Sunday night football game coming up. We got another team that we cannot sleep on coming into this game. And there are a lot of headlines and, quite frankly, some questionable things going into this matchup because let me tell you, only our head coach could make a 32-13 win feel like we're coming off a loss. But let's get on to this preview. What is good, everybody? I am Mac, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, link down in the box below. So, Steeler Nation, it's time for Sunday Night Football, and it's time to welcome on in the New York Jets. The New York Jets at 2-4, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 4-2 this Sunday night in Pittsburgh, and this is my Week 7 preview for this matchup. So, obviously, as I said, we're coming off a win over the Raiders in Vegas, 32-13, a game in which our offense finally had that big burst that I've been hopeful for weeks now, where Najee Harris, of all people, had 125 total yards of offense in that game. And the defense once again did their thing, aside from that opening drive the Raiders had in the first quarter. But, getting pressure, causing turnovers, hitting on Aiden O'Connell, and we were able to come away with a victory. As for the Jets, they are 2-4 on the season. They've dropped 3 straight games since their 2-1 start, and things have trended downwards, to put it lightly, for the Jets. So much so that a couple weeks ago they fired Robert Saleh, their head coach, and now they're under interim coach Jeff Ulbrich. And there are more questions than answers with the Jets going into this game. So I'm going to talk about the Jets for a little bit here. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room, okay? Obviously, we know the biggest headline with the Jets going into this game is that they acquired Davaonte Adams from our previous opponent, the Las Vegas Raiders, in a trade that sent a conditional third round draft pick for next year to Vegas. And that draft pick could become a second rounder if the Jets were to make the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl this season, and Adams is on the active roster of said games, or if Davaonte Adams ends this season being a first or second All-Pro with the Jets. Now, to me right there, that speaks very highly just by how much of a complete dysfunctional organization that the Jets and the Raiders are right there. And I say that because the Jets have bigger problems other than Aaron Rodgers needing his old buddy in Green Bay to come on over to New Jersey. Okay? The Jets have a massive gaping, well, maybe not a massive wound, but they have an offensive line that's good, but it definitely needs patch-up work. And their play calling is starting to become predictable. And while their defense is good, it's having trouble stopping the run, which I'm going to get into later in this video, believe me. And so they really think that the answer to all that is bringing in Davaonte Adams. Now, I'm not knocking at Davaonte Adams. Of course, in my opinion, he's possibly the best receiver in the NFL. Okay, maybe maybe no worse than third, because I think CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson have those two spots locked up. Then it goes Davaonte Adams, and then I'd say Jamar Chase, and then probably Mike Evans. That's just my opinion right there. Argue with it down in the comments all you want. But the point is, bringing Aaron Rodgers, old buddy from Green Bay, back is not going to patch up the problems that the Jets have, and it's not going to solve their issues about why they're on a 3-game losing streak, all right? They're seriously catering to Aaron Rodgers, who's going to be 41 years old this year, just because they want him to play the whole season based off of last year where he only played 4 snaps. I mean, the Jets have learned absolutely nothing from when they got Brett Favre back in the day from the Green Bay Packers, and I doubt that they're going to learn anything with Davaonte Adams. It's just not enough to save them right now. And even going back a little bit further, back when Bill Belichick became the head coach of the Jets and he resigned after 1 day. Well, he quit on the organization after 1 day. Bill knew what he was doing when he got the hell out of the Jets organization. And now this franchise just continues to just continues to ignore bigger things that are at hand for them. You know, a 3rd round conditional pick. So the Jets are that confident that what they are right now, that they're going to be playing in the Super Bowl, or they're going to make it all the way to the AFC Championship. I think Davaonte Adams being an all-pro is way more likely than that. I'm not saying he can't be that, but if I had to pick between the two, I'm definitely going with the latter. Because I'm telling you, this Jets team is not going to the AFC Championship game. They are not going to the Super Bowl like everyone said they were in the offseason. And so far, I'm looking right about that. Y'all killed me down in the comments section in my season predictions when I said the Jets are not a playoff team. The Jets will either barely miss the playoffs or barely make the playoffs. Where are you guys at right now? It's just funny how that works. Anyway, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers here. So, Aaron Rodgers himself is just not going to be the savior for the Jets. Sorry to break it to you guys, that's just how it is. Because Aaron Rodgers at age 40, basically age 41, is having a very average to mediocre season. You look at him, he's at 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 50.3 QB rating, and an 84.4 passer rating. Those numbers right there for the casual quarterback are, like I said, average to mediocre. For Aaron Rodgers standards, that's awful, because we know what Aaron Rodgers has done. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback for sure. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. His only Lombardi has come against us, unfortunately. And the ultimate irony of Aaron Rodgers being a Jet is this. The last time Aaron Rodgers made the Super Bowl was the last time the Jets even made the playoffs. Okay? So I'm sorry, guys. Aaron Rodgers ain't your savior if you're a Jets fan. The Jets need a fresh young quarterback to gel with this offense, because Aaron Rodgers' lack of chemistry with wide receivers and or teammates in general, not named Davaonte Adams, has really shown. It really has. I respect Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. I don't really respect him as a person. That's why I'm coming off a little bit hard in this video right here. All right? That's just how it is. So that's my take with Aaron Rodgers right now. Then you take a look at how the Jets are offensively in general. They're run under Todd Downing, and he's very Matt LaFleur-esque. So he's a very West Coast he's a very West Coast offense type of guy. So obviously you know that the Jets have a lot of key contributors as far as their offense goes, but they've been kind of underwhelming, again, in my opinion, mostly because of Aaron Rodgers. You know, it's the With him, it's just, oh, it's everybody's fault but mine. He throws people under the bus for stuff that's mostly his own fault. That's just how it is. But these Jets players, you cannot sleep on. Obviously you're bringing in Davaonte Adams. I expect him to go up against JPJ all night. Garrett Wilson, a solid number 2 for them. Hope he's not the jealous type, quite honestly, because, he went from being the number 1 on the Jets to now basically being the number 2. He had a really good game last week, or on Monday, actually, against the Buffalo Bills. He had 8 catches on 10 targets and 107 yards. I expect him to be going up against Dante Jackson in this game right here. Allen Lazard, another guy from Green Bay, another decent game, 6 catches, 7 targets, and 114 yards receiving. He had that Hail Mary touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. Conklin is a real strong tight end for them. And of course, in my opinion, the best player on offense the Jets have right now, it all starts with Breece Hall. Really good young running back right there. He had 113 on the ground against Buffalo, and his elusiveness, his ability to break tackles, the guy is just going to be a handful to work with on Sunday. And that's the thing that worries me the most about our defense going up into this one, is being able to stop a guy like Breece Hall. But my first key to victory in this matchup here is being able to stop the run. A lot of people like to crap on the Steelers' run defense, but here's the fact, guys. The Steelers currently are second in yards per carry when it comes to rush defense. We've only allowed an average of 3.6 yards per carry. That's second in the NFL. I get that people are frustrated with Patrick Queen. I was, but Pat Queen is coming off his best game as a Steeler so far. He had 13 tackles on Sunday. Elandon Roberts is always a threat up the middle. I expect him to have a solid night. So those two, I mean, if they just duplicate what they were able to do against the Raiders, and they're really able to bring that physicality, like guys like Keanu Benton and Cam Hayward can do as well, the Steelers can really the Steelers can stop this run game. TJ Watt's been a good run stopper as well in the early parts of the season too. So that leads me into my second one, is just keeping this Jets offense off the field for as much as possible. As I said, the Jets are 22nd in points per game this season. Very underwhelming for them. And their offensive line, as I said, it's good, but it's definitely beatable. They only allow 3 sacks, and only 15% of the time Rodgers was being pressured. So keeping this Jets offense off the field is huge right here. The Steelers are second in points per game allowed this year with 14.3, and we're third in red zone defense. So definitely, I think if we keep the Jets off the field, we get constant pressure on Aaron Rodgers, we make him use his legs like you're supposed to do with a 40-year-old quarterback who's past his prime and is in the twilight of his career, your chances of winning are going to skyrocket. That's all there is to it. So that's it right there for us. You got to keep them off the field. You got to get the run defense going, and you got to get constant pressure right there. Fortunately for us, Alex Highsmith is expected to come back in this game. So it really doesn't worry me a whole lot that Nick Herbig is out for this game. But DeMonte Kazee was limited this week in practice, so he's a guy with the pass defense that we could really use. You take a look at our pass defense, it's 8th this season, and we do have 7 interceptions on the season, which sounds really good, but over the past couple weeks, our pass defense has been really sus. I mean, like I said, sure, Aaron Rodgers is 40, but let's also not forget that Joe Flacco carved us up a couple weeks ago, and Joe Flacco is just about the same age as Aaron Rodgers is. They're in the same age group, give or take. And then, of course, Dak Prescott had a pretty good night against us on Sunday Night Football a few weeks ago. So the pass defense while it suggests that we're a dominant force in the pass defense, it really has looked very concerning over the past couple weeks. And it doesn't get easier, because like I mentioned a few minutes ago, they're going up against now Davaonte Adams. They're going up against Garrett Wilson. They're going against Allen Lazard. You got Conklin across the middle as a tight end, so the Jets do have playmakers on that offense that are capable of making this pass defense work. So we need everybody on this pass defense to really step things up. That includes guys like Dante Jackson coming up big with an interception, Joey Porter Jr. covering guys well. If you got to put Deshaun Elliott in the slot a little bit more, I wouldn't be, opposed to that. Same thing with Beanie Bishop right there. The problem I have with Beanie Bishop is that he just is not a really good coverage guy. So, like I said, if you want to put him in the slot too and you want to incorporate safety blitzes with him, I'm all for that. But the bottom line of all this is this pass defense needs to really get things straight, with this game right here. As I said, pressure is big in this one. Alex Highsmith coming back is huge. He's probably going to be going up against Tyron Smith in this one. And you figure that TJ Watt's going to be going up against Moses in this one. So, like I said, that O-line the Jets have is good, but it's definitely able to be beaten. Getting turnovers, like I said, huge as well. We got 7 interceptions on the season. We forced 2 fumbles against the Raiders on Sunday. So you got to make the Jets turn the ball over here. Okay. Now, looking at the Jets defensively and kind of leading into us offensively. So, first of all, with our O-line, Zach Frazier is out for this game. That's a big loss for our offensive line right there because Frazier has by far been our best O-line, has by far been our best offensive lineman this season, and it just stinks that he's going to be out for a couple weeks. But like I said the other day, this could be a timely injury for him because after this, we got the Giants on Monday night, and then we have our bye week. So that gives Frazier extra time to recover. And you figure he can probably be back after the bye week. So at least he's hurt now and not down the final phases of the season like when the injuries last season really piled up on us in the final couple weeks of the season. Cordell Patterson is listed as optimistic for this game, but time will only tell for this one right here as far as Cordell Patterson goes. Because if there's one thing the Steelers need to do offensively, they need to have, Raider game 2.0 on Sunday when it comes to the ground game. Najee Harris, phenomenal game. 106 yards rushing for him. 2 very explosive runs, including the 36-yarder where he dove for the pylon against the Raiders. And he had 125 total yards of offense. So, yeah, like I said, Raider game 2.0 with the offense here against the Jets. We're currently 20th in points per game, averaging a little bit over 20 points a game, but 28th in passing offense. And that leads me into what I'm talking about right now with what every Steeler fan is flipping out about with Mike Tomlin starting Russell Wilson in this game. I'm not a fan of it. To put it bluntly, I'm not a fan of it. Because in the press conference, Tomlin said that he is putting this team in his best position to win and to be, quote, that team. Well, Mike, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're 4-2 with Justin Fields. And you're going up against a Jets defense that allowed 149 yards on the ground on 33 attempts against the Bills. So why is Russell Wilson, a.k.a. a 36-year-old quarterback who can't run in the pocket anymore, who doesn't have strong legs anymore, who has had a bum calf for the majority of the season so far, is just now making his season debut with us. Why now? It just makes no sense to start Russell Wilson in this game. Okay? Because what does everyone talk about with Justin Fields? His legs, right? We're 28th in passing offense. So why aren't you using your mobile quarterback that's capable of making plays with his legs against a Jets rush defense that is constantly getting gashed? Unless you're anticipating Najee Harris to carry the bulk when it comes to the ground game on Sunday night. But remember, you got Justin Fields for a reason. You don't even know for sure if Russell Wilson is going to be able to fix our passing offense. Did Justin Fields have a concerning game against the Raiders? Absolutely. No one's denying that. Yes, he missed guys. Yes, he overthrew some targets. Yes, there were some drives. Yes, there were those three times where Justin Fields missed open receivers, and it probably cost us an extra touchdown or two. Not that I'm complaining about it, because we put 32 points on the board. And yes, he should have had an interception in that game, if not for a weak roughing the passer call on him. I understand that. But tell me this. What has Justin Fields done to earn to be benched? What has he done? Tomlin says it's nothing in particular to him or his ability that's led to him being benched. You know what? I call BS on that, because there's no reason for you to bench him in this game, knowing the type of defense that the Jets have. There's no reason to bench him in this game. I'm sorry. I disagree with starting Russell Wilson in this game. You know? And it doesn't make things any easier anyway, because the Jets have the 7th ranked pass defense in the league, and they have the third, their pass rush is third with 20 sacks on the season, and they're getting pressure 40% of the time, which is tied for 4th. And you think that Russell Wilson, who's making his season debut, who's 36 years old, who can't run like he used to, who's not mobile like he used to be, who can't really see over linemen, you think that is going to gash this pass defense for the Jets? I don't know what tape you're looking at, bro. I really don't know. Because you take a look at the guys the Jets have on defense. Sauce Gardner in that secondary is sensational. Great press coverage type of guy. It's going to be a long day trying to get to him. That's a big mismatch, in my opinion, right there. Sauce Gardner on George Pickens, most likely. Then you got Quincy Williams up the middle. You got you got Michael Carter. You got DJ Reed, an excellent number 2 role right there. You got Kinlaw, and of course you got Mosley as well. Those are the main guys on the Jets defense that worry me the most. Okay? So I don't know what this pass offense is going to do. And I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to do. But I'm telling you, if Justin Fields started this game, I'd be more optimistic. I don't know how Tomlin anticipates Russell Wilson to have any sort of difference when he can't run like he used to. I mean, that's just how you stop the Jets defense. You got to beat them on the ground. And with not starting Justin Fields in this game, you're basically weakening your offensive game plan, and you're weakening your chances of being able to beat that defense. But an X factor for me in this game, because like I said, I don't like the matchup of Sauce Gardner on George Pickens. If there's one X factor on offense here, it has to be CA3. Because what type of guy is CA3? He's a guy that's got a lot of speed. He's a guy that's excellent in open space, and he's a guy that gets open. So if the Jets are putting all the focus on George Pickens, then I think that definitely opens up the door for CA3 in this one. Or maybe finally Tomlin uses Roman Wilson a little bit more, which is what he drafted him for. I literally have no doubt about it because we know Tomlin loves slot receivers. So why not use Roman Wilson in this game? Can we finally see him? Can we finally see what Roman Wilson's capable of doing so the fan base can stop clamoring about, oh, we need another solid receiver other than George Pickens. Oh, we need another guy for Justin Fields and or Russell Wilson to throw to. Can we finally see what Roman Wilson is? Because Van Jefferson hasn't been cutting it. CA3, like I said, he is that type of guy that can get open and he has good, excellent space. But it's going to take more than just him to do that. We know that Freiermuth can attack the middle of the field, but again, more of the same with that. Can we finally see what Roman Wilson has to offer? That's what it needs to be with the passing offense here. Don't put all the focus on one guy. Now, look, I'm not sitting down here and saying that we're going to lose this game. And I'm not sitting down here and saying we're going to blow the Jets out. Quite frankly, I don't think either are going to happen. As a matter of fact, if you look at the trends, they lean in our favor. The Jets, to me, they're a very beatable team. They're a team that's reeling right now. They're a team that just doesn't know what the hell they're doing right now. And the Steelers need to take advantage of that. Yes, I know they brought in Davaonte Adams. Everyone and their mother knows that they brought in Davaonte Adams, all right? And that's going to be a big test for the pass defense right here for the millionth time. But let me tell you guys something, okay? I've seen the Steelers in way tougher situations than this. I have. It's not the end of the world that we got to go up against Davaonte Adams. Because think about it, guys. Has Davaonte Adams really been a factor against us in the times that we have had to play him? Ask yourself that. It's like the times when we gone up against Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? You know what this game reminds me of? This matchup right here, it reminds me a lot. It's giving me vibes of when we played the Bucs a couple years ago. Remember? Tom Brady came in. He was 45 years old. The Bucs had that stout offense, leading the way with Mike Evans. And everyone thought that, oh, Brady's going to do it to us again in Pittsburgh. Oh, Brady's going to, beat us again. We're going to lose to Tom Brady again. We don't stand a chance against the Bucs. And what did we do? We played strong defense. We got to Brady. We pressured him all day. And we won the game. Held him to 18 points. 2 years later, you got a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming in who has Davaonte Adams now and a group of receivers that he has capability of working well with, but the problem, of course, is always Aaron Rodgers and his lack of chemistry with his players. And by the way, we still have a defense, and we have a defense that everyone says is trash, and everyone says can't do anything against the run and can't guard well. But you take a look at it, and this defense is top 10 in most major categories. You know what I mean? That's what this matchup is reminding me of. It's giving me serious Steelers-Bucs vibes from 2022. This is a very winnable game. I'm not sitting down here saying or guaranteeing like Joe Namath did in the Super Bowl all the way back in 1968. I'm not guaranteeing a win. But what I am saying is that if you think this is the worst situation that the Steelers have been in a matchup just because of a petty move by the Raiders, you're either a new Steeler fan or you haven't been watching football for very long, because I can sit down here and name 10 tougher situations harder than this that I've seen the Steelers be in. We can win this game. We can. Okay? I'm not sleeping on the Jets, and neither should the Steelers. Get the job done. You're 4-2. Yes, it's a stupid move, in my opinion, to start Russell Wilson in this game, but are you going to let that hang over your head and let that dictate the outcome of the game? Be real with yourself and get the job done, and then beat the other Jersey team the next week and get the 6-2 and go into your bye week. I think the Steelers could use their bye week right about now. Okay? So anyway, that's my pregame preview. It's Steelers Jets. Couple of historic moments between these two. Back in 04 in Ben's rookie season, they met in the divisional in Pittsburgh. Ben threw 2 costly picks against the Jets, and the Jets missed 2 costly field goals that cost them the game. And that sent us to the AFC Championship against New England, where unfortunately the clock struck midnight on Ben. And then, of course, the 2010 AFC Championship. The Jets came into here, and we beat the Jets again to avoid the sweep, went on to the Super Bowl. So there you go right there. There is a little bit of history between these two. But anyway, that's enough for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. It's Steelers Jets, baby. I'm ready for Sunday night once again. Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.